What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. And if you haven't already, could you please hit the subscribe and notification buttons? What that'll allow me to do is every time I put out something new, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you. All right, guys, let me address the first bit of hate before we continue. All of you out there who are watching this who are going to comment, hey Johnny, why are you promoting this? Hey Johnny, why are you even giving them a platform to talk about this circus show? My answer to you is, it's a sanctioned bout. I'm a child of the 80s, and it's Mike Tyson. So, am I happy about this fight? Hell no. Am I going to watch this fight? Hell yes. Is it intriguing? Yes. Is it boxing? Probably not. It's more along the lines of entertainment. But guys, that's the world we live in. Mike Tyson hasn't fought since 2004, going on 20 years. We know all about the credentials of his career. We know more importantly about how his career ended. His last 4 fights, he was 1-3, getting knocked out 3 times. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about some things that maybe the media isn't speaking about. Who the hell sanctioned this fight? I'm gonna talk about the fight purses pay. We're gonna talk about the fight card, because say what you want about Jake Paul, this fight card has some good fights on it. We're gonna see a rematch, undisputed, between 2 of the best females on the planet, Serrano and Taylor. We're gonna see Abel Ramos taking on Mario Barrios for a strap at 147, and a fight that's flying under the radar that isn't on any of the stacked lineup cards is an Aussie and a kid from Brownsville, New York. And I'm talking about the Aussie Deadly Dana Coolwell versus Shushu Bruce Carrington. I already did a feature on that fight last week, and I have that feature tagged in this video. That's the fight to watch. I took a lot of heat on my Instagram because I was saying Carrington's in for a dogfight. Coolwell's only 2 losses were during the pandemic. This fight's at 126. Both of those losses were split decision losses. One up weight classes at 135, and the other one was up a weight class at 130. Coolwell's an Aussie just to take fights and stay active during the pandemic. He fought where he could get it, and it hurt his record, but it didn't hurt his world rankings. He's still ranked number 14 in the world, and Carrington's ranked 13 in the world. That is a fight to watch. It's worth the price of admission, plus the other fights I just mentioned. We know this fight will be streaming live for free with a Netflix subscription. This is going to be Friday night in America. I'm streaming live from Sydney, Australia, so my buddies and I are gonna be at my house Saturday afternoon around noon to watch this fight. Before we continue, Tyson stopped by Stephen A. Smith's podcast, and he was asked specifically how he sees this fight going. I want to play that soundbite for you.
I feel in great condition. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I box 8 rounds, and I don't know. I'm ready. I don't look at it as I'm some old guy that's decrepit going to fight this young guy. I'm fighting a guy with 10 fights. You know, he's sensational and he's hot, but I'm fighting a guy with 10 fights, and I just think I can handle this situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm gonna hurt him, yes.
All right, we know Mike's 59 years old. Once a warrior, always a warrior. 2 of my best friends growing up were Marines, and they have a saying in the Marine Corps, Semper Fi. Once a Marine, always a Marine, Semper Fidelis. So this is the way of the warrior. We know Tyson, when he was being mentored by Cus D'Amato, was being fed all the old-time legends. There's stories about him watching every boxing match because Cus had them on roll, old school flicker reels. So he's a student of the game, but he's also an expert in conquerors. There's stories of Cus D'Amato hypnotizing Mike in the locker room before fights, telling him that he's Genghis Khan, telling him that he's Napoleon. And so when you have a guy who's built and bred for this, at 59 years old, he's still in his head, is gonna have no doubt in his mind that he can't knock out this 20-something YouTube steroid Jake Paul. Jake Paul fans, the facts of this, he's on steroids, he's on human growth hormone, he talks about it openly. That's all fine and dandy. Just because I say that isn't mean I'm bashing him. He's an Ohio guy. He grew up 20 miles from where I grew up. I'm from Youngstown, he's from Cleveland. I actually, as his legacy is going on and on, I can't hate on him as much as I did 2 years ago. He's doing a lot for the sport. Eddie Hearn said, the way the boxing landscape is, even if you have YouTubers who bring new eyes to the sport, this is the new way of the land. New eyes to the sport are good eyes. So he is doing that. He's paying his fighters. Serrano and Taylor are making $6 million each. That is remarkable for women's boxing alone. So say what you want about Paul. What you can't say is he's definitely providing positive things to the boxing community. Before we go on, do I want to see this fight once again? You already heard my reasoning? Hell no. 59 years old. We saw what happened with Evander Holyfield and Vitor Belfort. The thing when we get older is your mind still might be in it. Our legs go, our chin goes. Tyson's been getting knocked out the last few fights of his career 20 years ago. What makes you think his chin is better? Jake, allegedly, from what his sparring partners say, hits like a truck. So he has fought one real boxer, kind of, Fury's little brother. He lost that fight. You know, he's had a bunch of these sideshows. And once again, even though the name is on the paper, Mike Tyson, don't get it twisted. This is still a sideshow. But once again, I'm tuning in. If you know me well enough, if there's a fight in the backyard right now, I'm gonna go watch it. Let alone get to see a childhood executioner from my generation, Mike Tyson, lace him up again. So, that being said, it's your prerogative how you want to deal with this fight. Let's talk about who sanctioned this goddamn fight, because that's the craziest. No one's talking about who the hell sanctioned it, because guys, this is a sanctioned bout. Now, when I did the first Paul versus Tyson breakdown last April when the fight was supposed to go down in June or July, I didn't really talk about it in this way because it wasn't a sanctioned bout. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation has made this a proper sanctioned bout, which will go on their records. While the fight is sanctioned by the Department of Licensing and Regulation, there are 3 major caveats of this fight. Tyson and Paul will wear 14-ounce gloves rather than the standard 10-ounce gloves for heavyweight fights. The rounds will be 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes, and the fight will be contested over 8 rounds rather than 10 or 12. It's gonna go on the record. We haven't seen much of Tyson training. We've seen like 10-second clips, 15-second clips. I wanna see a minute of sparring at least. I wanna see a minute on the pads. We've seen little snippets of his explosivity, and that's probably obviously smart marketing. Let's take a closer look at some of Jake Paul's training footage.
Sir! On a yacht off the coast of Sicily. I could be in the club popping bottles. I could be in some Ferraris. Yeah, I'm still working harder than you.
All right, when we look at the two fighters side by side, you guys can read this with me. Tyson's 58, Paul's 27. When's the last time you saw a side by side like that? That in itself is chaos. 30 years difference. This fight should not be going on, but hey, record Tyson's 50-6, Paul's 10-1. Knockouts, Tyson 44-7. Mike's only 5'10", Jake's 6'1". Mike only has a 71-inch reach, Jake has a 76-inch reach. Both ortho, one's from New York, one's from Ohio. Now let's get to the nitty gritty and say what you will about the world we live in. Money talks. And here's the money behind this fight, and this is why it's going down. The guys can say whatever they want, but it's this, we know that. While the fight purses have not been officially disclosed, Jake Paul claimed at a press conference in August, "I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend," while Tyson will earn approximately $20 million, according to a friend and former UFC champion, Henry Cejudo, and I've seen those figures repeated. Paul gets 40, Tyson gets 20. Serrano and Taylor get 6 and 6. It's a cash grab. I can't hate on that. Anybody who's gonna sit there and wants to play devil's advocate, you have a lot of reasons to do that. This is out of our hands. This is gonna be entertaining for however long it lasts. The event, I'm saying, I'm watching the Dana Coolwell versus Carrington fight. I'm watching Abel Ramos versus Barrios. I'm watching the ladies fight, Serrano versus Taylor. And of course, I'm gonna watch Tyson and Paul. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not a hug fest. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see flashes of old school Mike. And yes, I want Mike to knock Jake out. And in the comments section below, there's a lot to cover here. Disagree with me, I'm fine with that. We're all good with that. But how do you want to see this fight go? Are you excited about this fight? Will you watch this fight? And how does it end? Leave all that in the comments.